Hi everyone, it's me, Slyn Hope, and today I wanted to do a storytime video. I haven't done a video like this in a long time, where it was just me talking to the camera. And I thought that I should because this storytime happened in early January, and I've been meaning to talk about it on here, as I'm hoping as an emotional story, because it's very emotional and touching to me, and I wanted to share it with everyone else. So in January, well, maybe I should just start from the beginning because I think that would make more sense. If you guys know, I have a disability called cerebral palsy. My cerebral palsy is right spastic hemiplegia. It just means the right side of my body does not work as well as my left. I do everything one-handed. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with my disability or if it's just how I was born, but my right leg is shorter than my left. So, growing up, I had to have special shoes made for me. Obviously, it wasn't noticeable when I was a baby because, when you're a baby, you're not walking and, whatnot. But I never actually got to pick out my own pairs of shoes before. See, what happened was, the hospital that I went to, which was Shriners Hospital for Children, they were very concerned with my walking because I'm at the age right now where I could easily fall a certain way and break my hip. I know it sounds weird because I'm 21 and was 22, and when someone breaks their hip, they're most likely like older in age, but to prevent that from happening, they started to make special shoes for me. I never got to pick out any pairs of shoes on my own, not even before I started walking because, obviously I was a baby. But the most of control I did have was the color of the shoes, but every single time I had shoes made for me, they were never my choice. I never picked out the brand. I never picked out the style. The most control I had over the shoes was the color. And I always picked black because when you get your shoes dirty, when they're black, they're not that noticeable. And I went through a whole black phase where I liked wearing a lot of colors that are black. So it was fitting for me at the time. I just decided to go with black. And, but I have to admit, I've always been grateful to Shriners. I obviously don't go there anymore because I'm of age. So I go to a different hospital now. I've always been grateful to Shriners and my current hospital for providing me shoes that I need to help me balance my walking so that I don't hurt myself a certain way and possibly break my hip. But I can say that growing up, I was jealous of other people, of everyone really, because everyone got to go out to the store, like go to Walmart or to a mall, find a pair of shoes they like, try the size on that they need, and they get to buy it and wear it whenever they want to. And I never got that choice. And as grateful as I am to the people who make my shoes, who've made my shoes in the past and in right now in current time, I was always very jealous because I had never picked out a pair of shoes before. And I had always wondered what it felt like to go to a store and look at a pair of shoes like them, love them, and buy them, get some in my size and buy them because I wanted to. And I never thought in a million years that would happen to me because it was never an option as far as I knew. But on January 8th of this year, and I remember, I don't know why I remember the exact date. I think it's also because my youngest brother's birthday is on January 8th. So it's, very special because not only is it my brother's birthday, but I got to pick out a pair of shoes for the very first time because the hospital informed me because I had needed new shoes because my current ones were starting to wear out. I still have my current ones with me. It's just they are about to be completely worn out and I can't use them. And every 2 years or so, or like a little longer than 2 years, I've always had to replace them because I have to wear them every single day. And when you wear shoes non-stop and you're as clumsy as me, they wear out faster. But that fateful day, they had told me that there were two options. One, I could pick out whatever pair of shoes I wanted from a store, bring them back to the hospital, and leave the right shoe with them so they can put on the lift. Because the shoes I have that are special made, the only shoe that's actually really made more differently than most shoes is my right shoe has always had a lift on it where I was evened out and I could walk balanced. I don't know what they did with the left shoe. I don't know. I think they have shoes there and they just take your measurements and then just pick out a random pair with the color you wanted and just mess with the right shoe. I don't know how that works. But I know for sure that they always put in a lift over the right shoe because that's where I am unbalanced. My right foot is unbalanced because it's shorter than my left. So that was always an issue. But they told me that I could go to a store and pick out whatever pairs of shoes I wanted and bring it back and just leave the right shoe there for them to put on the lift. So they're still making the shoe, but not making the shoe, but I don't know why I said making the shoe. They mess with it to have the lift on it, but I didn't need to leave the left one there because that's not the shoe that I need balanced. So they just add on the lift, and I had opted for them to mail them to me so that I didn't have to go all the way back because it is a 2-hour drive, 4 hours if you go to and back home. And I was just not in the mood to go back, in a few weeks. So, and the second option was they just pick out a pair of shoes for me and I just pick out the color. Obviously, I went with the first option because I didn't know that was an option until that very moment. So, what ended up happening was I went to a shoe store and I picked out these cowboy printed shoes. And why I did that was because they reminded me of Selena Quintanilla. And I love Selena Quintanilla. I've always been a fan of hers growing up. I was actually named after her. So I really wanted these so bad. And I just looked at them and I knew that those were the ones I wanted. Those were the one. So I tried on the size. I picked it, I got the pair I wanted. it didn't hit me that I had just picked out my first pairs of shoes until I was holding on to them. Because my mom took me to my appointment and my dad stayed home with my brothers. And it didn't hit me that I had just done that up until I held on to them for the very first time. And when I tell you that I wept, I mean, I wept. I was crying. I mean, tears were streaming down my face. I was so happy. I was so shocked and so overwhelmed with joy. I didn't know how to express it other than to cry. I was crying tears of joy. I was still crying even as my mom and I were paying for them and went into the car. Because that was like the moment I just had that moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I just did this. I had gone 21 years up until this very day where I had never picked out a pair of shoes before. They were always made for me. They were always decided for me. And even though the most control I had was the color, I have to say that all the shoes that were made for me that I never had much of a choice in besides the color, they never felt like my shoes, you know what I mean? Like, you wear clothes that express you, that makes you feel comfortable. And yes, those shoes were obviously comfortable, but they never felt like they were mine, you know what I mean? They just felt like they were part of my body. And, for the first time in my entire life, when I hold on to these shoes, they felt like they were mine, and they were mine. And I will never ever forget that day for as long as I live. Because I finally got the one thing I had always wanted. I had always wanted to know what it was like to pick out a pair of shoes that I wanted, that no one else could have control over. No one else had this control but me. No one had a choice. It was my decision, what I wanted. And I was so overwhelmed with joy and with happiness because I didn't think it was ever possible. I didn't think I was ever gonna have that. I couldn't believe it. All those years I was feeling jealous over people, over girls my age who had designer shoes. Like, you know, when I was a little girl, I saw my classmates wear pink shoes and like hearts on them or like that glow, and I could never have that because of my disability or, you know, my legs. I don't know if it's a disability issue or if it's just a me issue. I've heard other people who aren't disabled who have unbalanced walking, that kind of thing. So I don't know. But I never had that choice before. And I didn't hesitate when the doctor told me, do you want to pick out your own pairs of shoes at the store and bring them back? Or do you want us to make them and just pick out the color? I did not hesitate. I will tell you that much. I did not hesitate. I was like, I want to go to the store. I want to go to the store, pick out a pair of shoes that I want, and come back. And I was so happy. I'm still happy because that was my decision. I went 21 years without that decision, that choice, and I took it. I took the opportunity when it presented itself because I never thought that was possible. And now that I've had that experience, I am so grateful and I appreciate it, and I am blessed to have been given that gift from God, because He gave me that gift. He knew I always wanted that choice, and He gave it to me. I'm always going to be grateful for that. And I'm trying not to get emotional because I have a church thing tonight. But when I think about this and I talk about it to people, I tend to get emotional. I'm trying to not be, because I just done my makeup and I don't think this is waterproof, but I am just so grateful, and I hope that my story inspires you in some way, that never give up hope, because one day you may get that chance that you've always wanted. Alright, that's all I'm going to say. God bless and bye.